How we doing? Soul-Centered Millionaire TV, episode 34. Boom! 34 episodes. It's gone so quick. I'm going to blow your mind tonight. I'm going to be a bit controversial at points. I am. Some people are going to fucking hate what I've got to say today. Some people are going to get it. I don't know which camp you're going to be in. Let's see. Title of the video, how I spent $20,000 on a coach who didn't even bother showing up to some of our sessions. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to just share something with you that's going to blow your mind to begin with as people are getting logged in. A little bit of a hack for you. If you've got an iPhone, you're going to have one of those moments in a second where you're like, how did I not know this about my iPhone? How did I not get this memo? So I'll tell you this while people are getting logged in. So if you've got an iPhone, you know when you type in a message or WhatsApp or something, and you know when you make a typo and you look up and you're like, shit, and the typo was a few lines up, so you've got to try and position your cursor where you want to make the change, and you're like tapping it and your fat fingers aren't putting it in the right place. Who can relate? Give me some hearts if you can relate to what I'm saying. Did you know, get this, you know the space bar? If you just keep your finger on the space bar, so hold down the space bar and then move your finger like that with the space bar, it will move your cursor across all of your letters so that you can accurately drop it where you need to put it. Try it. It's a game changer. It saves so much time. So all you do literally is just hold your finger on the space bar and move your finger across it. Don't move the phone, move your finger across the space bar, hold it down, move your finger across, and it will just move the cursor where you want it to go. How cool is that? So let's dive in. Who have I got with me tonight? Say hi in the chat box so I can see who we've got logging in. Hopefully I can see your comments. It's been really weird the last few weeks. Facebook has been glitching like a mofo and I've not been able to see everybody's comments. So I've not been able to interact back with you as much as I would like to. So whoever's there, let me know you're there by commenting so I can see if your comments are coming up. I'm actually going to grab another device so I can see on a different device as well. Give me 1 second. I'm literally going to be seconds. Because what's really annoying is when I can't see your comments, when you're asking me questions and stuff, I can't answer them until afterwards, which isn't a bad thing, and I'll always go back and do that, but ideally I want to be able to see them, and I think we're having the same freaking problem today. Oh, any of you that have been following my last few episodes, you'll know that me and Facebook have been falling out recently. So let's have a look. I can see my comments on this other device. Yeah, see, I can see you all there now, so let's go. So, how are we doing? Kerry, Nicola, Anna, Sevda, I hope I've said that right. Carolyn, Amanda. Yeah, you're all going, wow, wow, wow. Yeah, on an iPhone. You can do it on an iPhone or similar. I don't know if it works on Android. I'm not an Android user. So, let's go. I've got some notes. So, what I want to share with you today is how you can, and if I'm looking down it's because I've got this other device so I can see your comments because they're not coming up again, it's doing my bloody head in, but at least I can see them here. So how you can be in a position where you never ever waste a penny on personal or professional development again, whether it be a coach, whether it be a trainer, whether it be a course, you always get a return on investment. That's what I want to help you with today. And this has been prompted for me by some pretty toxic posts that I've seen recently. Seems to be an influx in them. You know, I hang out in groups for coaches, trainers, consultants, people in business, women in business. And recently I've seen some threads that cringe me out a little bit, where people are sharing in quite a negative way that they've had what they feel are bad experiences, they've bought courses that they've got nothing from, they've hired mentors that were shit. And one particular lady that I saw recently shared in a group this post where she said, She'd spent 15,000 on a coach, and it was, in her words, a pointless, useless waste of time and money, and she'd learned absolutely nothing. And then been blamed by the coach for her lack of results. And then all these people have jumped on this thread, and I watch these things with fascination. All these other coaches have jumped on, some of them saying how terrible it is that she's had that experience and how they'd never get that experience if they work with them, and you know, that sort of stuff. And that's what's prompted me doing this this video today. I can see some of you commenting. So I wanted to share my experience and my thoughts with you today on this topic. I'm a business coach, as you know, so I can see it from both sides of the coin. Not only am I a business coach that offers premium level support, I call myself more a mentor than a coach, really. That's just purely because I don't just ask questions, I'll just give advice and share things that I know work, don't work, and you know, share my experience with you of things that have gone wrong in the past, etc., to avoid you making the same mistakes. So I don't really identify with the word coach, but you know, business mentor, and someone that has also invested really heavily into business coaching and mentoring. Maybe that's a new thing, coaching myself. So I can see it from both sides, and I've had experiences from both sides, and I want to offer my advice on how to stop you from wasting your money. Now, I want to start by saying that I have never wasted 1 pence on personal or professional development. I have always got an insane return on my investment from anything that I've invested in, without exception, always. I'm going to share with you today how you can do that, how you can prevent yourself from getting ripped off, how to choose the right coach for you, or trainer, or support, or course, or program, whatever you feel you need next. I'm going to share with you my own experience with high ticket coaches and how I've used them to create a multi-million-dollar business really fucking fast, and what happened when I paid $20,000 to work with a coach who didn't show up for our sessions. I'm going to share it all with you tonight. I want to start by saying mentorship changed my life. It did, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, not in a really cliche way. You know, it changed my life forever, I'll never be the same again, but it did. And every experience that I've had with a coach, trainer, mentor, and I've had mentors pretty much from the get-go, has been one that has seen me go on as a result to achieve exponential growth as an individual and in my business. And what you're not going to hear from me today is me sharing anything that's negative towards anybody that supported my journey in any way. I've never badmouthed an experience or a person that's been part of my development journey, and I'm not about to start now. So if you logged in thinking, because of the title, that that's what was about to happen and you were going to hear me bitch about someone or something, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you're not going to get that from me today because it's not productive. What you're going to get today is a really honest view from somebody that has never wasted money and has never been burned or had a bad experience, so that you can avoid being that person. So if you were really hoping to hear someone moan about a bad experience they've had today, I'm afraid, and I say this in a way that doesn't mean to come across arrogant, but you're going to have to go and find somebody less successful that's got the time to be sat around talking about that shit and talk to them about it. Because what I want to focus on today is helping you always get a return on investment when you invest in you and your business, because it is totally possible for that to be your story. And I'm tired of scaremonger stories circling around posts that tell you something different. that paralyse people and leave people feeling stuck and like they can't trust how to invest or where to invest. That does not have to be your story. So I want to help you make really empowered decisions today. And I don't say that because I'm a coach. The solution today isn't going to be, so here's how you can invest in me. That's not what I'm going to do today, because I'm not for everybody. And it might be that you need someone else to help you with where you're at. Where I'm at and where you're at might not be a match right now. I might not be what you need or want, for that matter, in your business or life. So what I want to do today is help you, no matter who and what you invest in, always get a smart return on investment. Does that sound fair? Now I'm going to go to the chat box. Who's with me? Just give me a hell yes if you're with me. Give me a hell yes if you're here to learn today and not partake. You didn't show up or wanting to just be part of a bit of a bitch fest, but you're here to learn. Give me a hell yes if that's where you're at right now in the chat box, and let me see you, because I want to know who's still with me. Can't see you on the screen, which is why I'm looking down. I'm really sorry, guys. Never normally look at my phone when I'm talking to you. Okay, I see you. Awesome. So for those of you that aren't typing quick enough, oh God, I can hear myself. 1 second, let's get rid of that. You can just give me some hearts. So yeah, give me some hearts if you can hear me and you are ready to dive in. Okay, let's go. So 3 steps today to guaranteeing you get a smart return on investment every time. 3 steps. Now there are 2 philosophies that sit behind these steps. Things that I know and believe to be true. I would say no. I don't say no a lot. I use the word believe a lot because I think everybody's truth is slightly different, but these are 2 things that I know for sure need to sit behind the 3 steps that I'm going to share with you today. The first thing is, everyone is a teacher if you make yourself a student. I would write that down, put it somewhere and live and die by it as a lifelong learner. Everybody is a teacher if you make yourself a student. You will learn from everyone and everything, whether you label it good, bad, indifferent. You will take lessons if you decide that that's going to be your journey. If you decide to learn, you'll learn. I mean, I know that, and one of my favourite quotes is when the teacher's ready, when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. Like, I know when I was at school, for example, it didn't matter how great my teachers were. I was not there to learn most of the time. I was there to have fun with my friends, play up, and do all the things that I probably wasn't meant to be doing, but I had a good time. So it's about making yourself a student, first of all. The second thing is, you can learn from everything and everyone and grow yourself and your business really quick if you know what questions to ask. So learning is about the art of knowing how to ask the right questions, because it's your responsibility as a business owner to ask the questions to extract the value that you need in that time. No one knows you better than you know you. No one knows your needs better than you know your needs, and no one knows your business better than you know your business. So you've got to learn how to ask the right questions. And those 2 philosophies, personally, is what I live and die by. And it's why I've never wasted 1 pence on self-development. And the 3 steps that I'm going to share with you don't work unless you adopt those 2 philosophies. So step 1. Step 1, and this is when it comes to business coaching, business training, business development to earn more as an entrepreneur. Step 1 is choose a mentor who has the results already that you're striving for. This is controversial because I know that most people, I know there's people out there that will say, no, Michelle, you don't have to have achieved something yourself to help somebody else to do it. I don't believe that to be true in business. I don't believe you're equipped to help someone achieve a level of success that you've not experienced for yourself yet. I believe you might know things in theory that you've not yet mastered and had results with, but I don't believe that makes you qualified to teach it. Now, I know for certain that there are a lot of people out there who are training, teaching, coaching things that maybe aren't their zone of genius yet. I know that because I'll give you an example. I had a conversation a few months ago with a girl that said to me, I need to earn $10,000 a month. That's my goal. And I need to do it really quickly, and I'm struggling, and I've had this goal for the last year, and I've not hit it yet. I've never hit it. She never earned that amount. And I said, right, okay, why? Why have you not? And she said, I don't have the leads. And I dug in a little bit, and we could see there was a problem with marketing and lead generation. I said, right, tell me what you do. Describe your service to me. And she said, I help people generate leads. And I looked at her Facebook, and it said, helping people generate 5 leads a day with no ad spend or something. So her really specific, tangible result that she was helping someone with is the one thing that she was struggling with in her own business. And that to me begs the question, then how are you delivering that result for people? And this is just one example of many, in why I believe that you have to work with someone that has already achieved the things that you want. Now, the title of this video was inspired by one of my coaches, previous mentors, who I spent 20,000 on. So it was 20,000, and I worked with them for around 3 months. There's about 12 sessions. What I'll say about it was exactly 12 sessions that I had in exchange for 20,000. 12 sessions on a one-to-one basis. This was a one-to-one relationship. And in between that, I was able to message. There was also a program that supported me in that 12 weeks. Did I say months? 12 weeks, 12 sessions across 12 weeks, 3-month relationship, 20 grand. There was a program which taught me some things that I needed to learn. So in between our sessions, I could learn, execute, and then we got together and we had a one-to-one session, and in between I could message. And I chose her because at that point in time, she was achieving the level of success that I was aspiring to. She was already doing that. She was achieving the sort of income that I wanted. She had the lifestyle that I wanted. She was location independent. She travelled a lot. She's just happy as well. Loved her work. Worked from a place of joy. She had balance, total balance. She wasn't always working to achieve that level of income. There was a lot of things there that I looked at and thought, having got to know her a little bit through her work, through her content that she put out there, and having a conversation with her a couple of times, I decided this is the person that I want to learn from. Because here's the thing, if you're earning say 10 grand a month and your next goal is 100 grand a month and you want $1 million business, you want to go from 6 figures to $1 million, and you're going to work with someone that's operating at $1 million, and you're going to have that privilege. If you don't learn something from that, whose responsibility is that? If you choose the wrong mentor, whose responsibility is that? And this is where it starts. This is why I'm starting with step 1, being choose the right mentor. Choose the person. Because if you choose somebody that hasn't had the results that you're aspiring to, can you actually learn from them? Did you make the right choice? If you choose someone that has had those results and you're not extracting that knowledge by asking the right questions, by showing up, by fully immersing, who's the idiot? Like, I'm being really honest with you here, because I'm looking back, having seen some of these stories, and I'm going, what did I do? What did I do that's meant that I've never wasted a penny and I've always got a return on investment? And I remember this relationship in particular. And every session that we had, I turned up on time with a page full of questions, because in between our sessions I'd been executing at a really fast rate, because I've got a limited amount of time that I've paid for here and I want to get the most out of it. So I'm going to work so hard in those 12 weeks to execute quick, because if you're executing fast, you're coming up against questions fast. I was compiling a list of questions, so I knew every session I had with her exactly what I wanted to get out of that session. I'd ask myself questions before the session, like, where have I struggled this week? What do I need to know that's going to help me overcome those struggles? Where do I need to grow the most? What's not working for me that's clearly working for her because she's doing it? What do I need to ask to extract that information? How do I want to feel by the end of my session? What tangible results do I want to come away with, or am I able to achieve by the end of my session with her today? And I'd go in fully prepared to just extract that value, because she had agreed to spend that time with me, and I'd agreed with myself to show up fully in that time. If I can't learn from someone that's had the success that I'm looking to achieve, then I might not be looking at the relationship in the right way. Now, she didn't show up for some of those sessions. I'd log in on time with all my notes, carve some time out of my diary, and I'd just sit there sometimes and she wouldn't come. And then I'd try and get hold of her and I wouldn't be able to, and then she'd come back to me a little while later and go, I'm really sorry, I forgot, or something came up. Or sometimes I'd message her and never get a reply. Sometimes she'd say, oh, I've got a document that I can send you that will help with that on our calls. She'd say I'd send it across, and then she'd never send it. So I'd have to chase. Did that mean that this was a bad experience and I didn't get a return on my investment? Fuck no. I achieved the same level of success as her, and I can pinpoint it being as a direct result of working with her, and that's the truth, and I'll be eternally grateful for that. What I learned was part of my values, what's really high on my values, is sticking to commitments, doing things on time when we say we're going to do them. It's just part of my personality trait. I'm a red personality type, so it's up there on the list of importance. It wasn't for her. She was a totally different personality type. In fact, she's blue. So she's more about flying by the seat of the pants. I'm more regimental. Like, I know when I'm doing things, I'm doing them on time, and if you don't stick to them, then in my mind, that belief system was, if you don't do something on time, it's because you don't care, or it's because you're inefficient. And it challenged that belief, because I was like, here is this woman that is 10 times more successful than me. Because this is the thing. If you're earning 10 grand, if I'm earning $1 million now and I want to go to 10 million, and I'm going to work with a coach who's at 10 million, they are 10 times more successful than I am. So there's a lot of shit I can learn from them. Fact. And just because like she didn't show up in the way that I expected her, doesn't mean that I label that, you're wrong, I'm right, and shut down my learning. It meant that I got fascinated. And I was like, isn't that interesting? Like, that's not high on her list of priorities. I wonder how she plans her week. The first time it happened, I put it down to just one of those things. The second time it happened, it pissed me off a little bit, and I was like, really triggered me, and I thought, I need to have this conversation. So after a few things happening, we had the conversation. So I learned a lot about me, my values, other people's. The way I do things isn't necessarily the way other people do them. The way people achieve success is different for different people. People's needs and list of importance, you know, those things are different in everybody. And I also learned to challenge it in the right way, in a non-confrontational way, without damaging rapport, without hurting her feelings, without getting stressed about it or allowing it to derail me or stop me from progressing. I learned to have a conversation and say, this is really important to me. And I've realised this from working with you, and I know it's probably not as highly important to you, and that's cool, we're all different, but can we commit going forward to when we say we're going to do something, doing it on time and showing up? And because it really bothers me, and this is the way I like to work. Can we agree that? Like, that was a challenge for me, because I hate confrontation and I hate being the person that moans or complains. So I learned something about me and I grew in that, but that wasn't all I learned. Oh my God, I learned so much from this woman. She's a wealth of knowledge. Of course I learned a lot from her. How can I not when she's here and I'm here in level of operation? So for me to get to there, there's shit I've got to learn, and it doesn't mean I take everything. Some things I left on the table. Sometimes learning is about going, that's not the way I'd have done things, and it's not the way I want to do things. I don't want that for me or my clients. In fact, that experience of her sometimes not showing up, it helped me massively. I'm so grateful that happened. I'm so grateful she did that, because I know how it made me feel, and it made me realise that some of my clients are going to be the same personality type as me, and that's not going to be okay for them. So I'm always on time, and I always stick to my commitments, and I've never not shown up. So that experience taught me that. How valuable is that? Like, it's so valuable, so valuable. And the second point, so number one is choose the right mentor. The second, which ties into this, is be really clear about what they're going to provide. What are you agreeing to here? Be really clear about what service they're going to provide for you. One of the reasons I think so many people feel disappointed, or I see so many bitchy comments about, oh, this didn't work for me and I didn't get my result, is because I think it's about the lack of managing expectations in the beginning. I think it's really important to know exactly what's being agreed. I'm paying you in exchange for what? If someone tells you you're paying for results in a business, my advice is run the other way. If someone promises you you'll be earning X amount as a result of what I'm going to teach you by this point in your business, I would say rethink. I mean, in what world can someone promise you that? What I know about business is that it's unpredictable. What I know about people is that they're unpredictable. When I'm working with someone, I can say to them, hand on heart, I've achieved a multi-million-dollar business. I've failed a fuckloads to get here, like I've done a lot wrong, which means in making those mistakes, I know what works and what doesn't. I know the pitfalls that you're liable of falling into. And to support your growth to that next level of success, I'll share everything with you in a group environment with some one-to-one support, with some group support. This is what that looks like. This is how many one-to-one sessions, this is how many group calls you're going to get. I'm going to share all of these different types of strategies with you. This is what you're going to learn. If they say to me, okay, when will I earn X amount? Or what guarantees can you make me? My answer is always the same. You're doing the work. This is your business. If someone tells you that they can predict how much volume you're going to do in your business by a certain point, I would question the ethics and morals of the person that's sharing that information with you. If you go on then to purchase based on someone promising you results, I think you've got to take some responsibility for that, because what you were looking for was to hand over the responsibility for your business to someone else. When actually what you should be looking for is for someone to guide you in taking full responsibility for your own business and getting it right quicker because you've got support. One thing I guarantee my clients is that there will be challenges. Anybody that's on this call that's had a discovery call with me will know I'll say this. I'll say, we're going to experience a shitload of challenge. What I know for certain is you'll get through things quicker, having mine and my team support, because we know what we're doing. But I'll make you no guarantees on what you learn by when. The only time someone can really do that is if you're paying for a tangible result. And this is why you need to be really clear on what you're agreeing to. It should be outlined in an agreement, because if someone says to you, you're going to pay me £10,000 for messenger support for a year. Let's say you want to get to 1 million, you found a millionaire that will mentor you through Messenger, and you get unlimited messages. So whenever something comes up, whenever you've got a question, whenever you've got a struggle, you can drop me a message and I'll reply to you within 24 hours. So for 12 months, you have me on tap, millionaire in your Messenger for 12 months on tap. Fucking great. I'd pay 10 grand for that when I wasn't a millionaire. Like, amazing. Imagine the value you can extract in a year from that. I'd be looking at that and I'd be saying, so I'm getting that, a millionaire mentor in my Messenger on tap for a year. No cap on the amount of questions I can ask. Can I extract 10 grand's worth of value from that? Like, is there going to be an exchange of value here? Absolutely, it's worth my 10 grand. And then it's my responsibility to extract the value. If in a couple of months, my business isn't where I want it to be, is it the millionaire's fault? If they've never messaged me back, then yeah, maybe. But if they've stuck to their end of the agreement, absolutely not. I went into this with my eyes wide open. So what I would then be doing is going, okay, where am I struggling in my business? Where am I struggling in my business? What do I not know that I need to know? What am I not learning that I need to learn? What questions do I need to ask now to learn those things? Where do I need to be better? And how can I get their support for me to be better by turning these concerns and struggles into valuable questions? And then I'd start writing all the things that I'm struggling with, all the things I need to learn, and all the questions I need to ask to maximise on this investment. And if it was just, say, 1 or 2 questions that help me break through to a high level of income, then I've just got my value. But that's my responsibility. So you've got to be really clear about what's being expected. And these are the questions you want to be asking when you're talking to someone that you're thinking of investing in. Like, what exactly do I get? What's included in terms of support? It's a bit different if you're paying for a service. If someone's saying to you, I'm going to get you 5,000 followers on Instagram in 4 weeks and you're going to pay me $1,000 for it, guaranteed, and you're handing over your account details for them to take your account and physically do the work for you, then great. If someone's saying, I'm going to teach you how are you going to teach me? Because then you're not paying for a result, you're paying for knowledge. So how are you going to teach me? And then you've got to know yourself. Don't invest in something if you're not going to do the work. Don't invest in self-study programs if you know you need to be able to ask questions and get help and sit and thrash things out with someone. Don't sign up for a group coaching program if you're not going to go in on the group, make time for group calls and not get over your confidence issues and be visible in a group. And that's, this is about you knowing you and saying, is this right for me right now? Is this what I need? Is this agreement what I need and want right now? And asking the questions is going to lead you to that place. So these are the questions you want to ask. How am I going to be supported? What exactly is included? Get really, really clear. And then it's about taking responsibility to extract the value and asking yourself, can I get that amount of value from that if I immerse fully? And that's the question I always ask myself. And don't buy stuff if it's the wrong time. Like, don't get me wrong. When you're a lifelong learner like we are, there's so much out there that you could be learning, isn't there? So much. Like, I'll go on webinars sometimes and at the end, when it's time to buy, I'll look at the offer and I'll think, wow, yeah, I could probably learn quite a bit from that. But do I need to learn it now? Is it going to help me hit the goal that I'm working towards right now? And will I put the time into actually learning it? Because if I'm going to spend $1,000 on that, it's only a great investment if I'm going to get over £1,000 worth of value by doing the work. And if I'm not, and I'm going to be really honest with myself here, then I'm going to step away from it, because it's not an investment, it's me spending. I know it's me hoping that by buying that in some way the results are going to magically jump into the cart with the purchase, and they're not. So, you've got to have some really honest conversations with yourself in the beginning. And the third point, which ties in nicely, is take responsibility for extracting the value. You take that responsibility. A few years ago, I was really pumped about an event that I'd got tickets for. There was one of my favourite people in business was going to the UK to do a seminar, and they're American, so they don't get to the UK very often. And I just saw an ad on Facebook, and it came up, and it was a weekend with said expert. And I was like, oh my God, James, we have to go. And the bottom price tickets were about $30, $40. And we both paid about $1,000 each to go, because we up-leveled premium tickets, premium seats. There was a picture with said person included, so you got to meet them very briefly, get your pitch taken. That's a smart investment. I knew that, because if I'm a fan, there's other people that are a fan. Association brings credibility. I know that. So I thought, yeah, a smart investment. I want to be at the front of the room. All the money's made at the front of the room at seminars, always. I want to have the best seats, the best view, the best opportunity to extract the most value. I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's about $2,000 for the tickets, hotel, flights, car hire, food, etc. It's the price of a good holiday. Way more valuable. but it's on me to extract the value and then do something with it afterwards. So anyway, off we go along to this event. And it wasn't what I expected. What I thought was a 2-day event with this expert was actually 2 days of sales fests. So it was just like person after person up on the stage selling. And we actually got about 20 minutes at the end of the 2 days with this expert. And I spent £2,000 on it. And it was fascinating because a couple of hours in, I can see people around me getting a little bit impatient, like, well, where is he? Who's this person? They're selling. I wasn't here to be sold to, their back's going up. By the end of lunch on the first day, lunch was fascinating. You could already start to see the whispers of it. You could see little groups forming of people bitching about it. This isn't what I thought I was paying for. They were shutting themselves down to any learning now because that's just not how I wanted it to be. Sorry, my phone rang. And then I'm listening to this, and by this point, like literally lunchtime on the first day, my notebook's nearly full. It was amazing. Watching these people sell, I learned so much about some of their communication styles. Some of them were awesome at live selling. Some of the lines they used, one-liners, the way they structured their sales pitch and led into an offer, their actual offers themselves. Some of them, the offers weren't for me because I'd either done work in that area previously, it wasn't a priority, I wasn't there for that. But even the way they structured their offers, the price points, what was included, I was learning from everything. Everybody did about 10 minutes of training and value and then the rest sales pitch. And it was just one after the other. I learned something from every single speaker. Not what I expected to learn from the weekend, granted. But I was going to extract my value. The next day, people were getting even more antsy. Some of the seats were empty from the day before. Some people had given up already. They were like, I'm not going back there because I expected this person and I've not got in, therefore I'm done. And they would probably be the people that would say they wasted 40 quid on a ticket or whatever. And it's really funny because the second day I saw a business buddy, and it's just somebody I've known for a few years in a similar business to me, seen them at a few different seminars and had a few chats with them. Great guy. And he come over to me at the end of the event and he was like, hands on hips. Well, that was a pile of fucking shit, wasn't it? And I was like, oh, what do you think? Wow. Did you not enjoy it? And he's like, are you joking? Was you not expecting XYZ person to be here for the full weekend? And I said, well, it wasn't what I expected, but when I actually went back and looked at what I paid for, I got exactly what I paid for. Like, it didn't say he was going to be on stage for the whole weekend, actually. And I've got a book full of notes. Like, literally, my mind's blown with how much I've learned from. It wasn't what I expected to learn, but Jesus, I've learned from every speaker. And he looked at me and you could see that he realised his error. At least I thought he did. But what's really funny is, on the Monday, so we flew back on the Sunday night, and on the Monday morning, I spent the whole morning going over my notebook and turning what I'd learned into actions, next steps. Because there's no point in just having a book full of notes. I've got to like do something with this. So what can I actually do with this? And one of the things I noticed was I'm going to share some of this. Like, I'm going to share my experience as a learner from a place of fascination, of being a student in that room and seeing how different people reacted to what they thought they should have got, and And I did a live training on the Monday night, about this. What I'd learned, not everything I'd learned, obviously I wouldn't cram that into an hour, but some of the things that I'd learned, some of the things I'd learned about people and how people react, and the people in the room that were learning, the people that were switched off from it. And there was so much fascination in that room, seriously. If you just make yourself a student, everybody was a teacher. And off the back of that live, 3 people got in touch. And they said to me, I really like what you had to say. I'm interested to know more about your programme, in a nutshell. And they resulted in 3 sales. I also, off the back of that, because at the end of the video, I did a call to action to say, you know, if you're a learner like me and you want to learn X, Y, Z, this is where you can buy a programme. And people went on to purchase. Off the back of that one Monday night live, in fact, I think it was a Sunday night. Was it a Sunday night then? Anyway, that one live, I made 30 grand. That was just the one live. That, I mean, my notebook was still full of actionable next steps that I went on to achieve afterwards. That's just the one. Let's say the weekend cost me about 3 or 4 grand. I made 30 grand on the Monday. because I chose to extract the knowledge. And what's really funny, it's on the Tuesday morning, this guy sent me a message saying, fuck it, I've complained. Have you seen my post in the event group? So there was an event group for people that were at the event, so I went and had a look. And he'd spent his Monday ranting in the group about the injustice. He'd spent 40 quid on his ticket, I'd spent £2 grand on me and James being there. And then writing reviews, venomous, just claiming wanting his refund, etc. I'd spent the Monday going over my notes that I'd made on the weekend and making 30 grand from it. Did I think I'd wasted my money? No, I'll go again. I learnt fuckloads. We were in the same room. So what's the difference? I took responsibility to extract the value and he didn't. And I'm not saying I've always been that way. I haven't. I have moaned. I have sometimes missed opportunities to learn and grow. I'm not perfect. This isn't a, look how perfect I am and how shit you are if you've not done the same. This isn't about that. But I am trying to prevent people from wasting money. And you, as a coach, I also have responsibility to spot if somebody isn't right for my program. That's the truth, I do. And the people that you speak to have a responsibility to look if you're right for what they offer too. But not everybody's going to take that responsibility seriously. I take it really seriously. There's probably going to be people logged in right now that will know, I've said to you, this isn't for you, the timing's not right. And sometimes the way I describe this is your coach needs to be a match. You know, they need to be hit. If I'm on floor 50 and you're on floor 30 wanting to get up to floor 50 and you want me to help support your growth in getting up those 20 floors, we can do that. If I'm on floor 50 and you're on floor 1, just about starting your personal and professional journey and you're not quite ready for that, you can't hear me all the way down there. It's going to be lost, a lot of it. So there's not a match, you know, and you have got to know that match. As a coach with experience, I can hear that. If I hear someone's not ready, I'll tell them. I'll tell them what they need to do to get ready. There is that responsibility, but the responsibility on you as a student is huge too. You don't know if everybody you speak to is going to be A, willing, and B, able to know if you're a match or not. So you've got to own it. And you know what pisses me off with posts that go, oh, it was terrible and I didn't get my value, is that it disempowers people. You can be totally and utterly empowered to drive your own results. And a good coach will demand that of you. I demand that of my clients because I know that they're capable of that. But you've got to get good at making yourself a student. You've got to get good at asking the right questions. You've got to take responsibility for your own learning. And you've got to take responsibility for extracting. So the 3 things are, number 1, choose a mentor that's the highest expression of where you want to go. That's my opinion. My opinion is, if you want to learn how to build a 10k a month business, you've got to work with someone that's done it. You just have. Number 2, be really clear about what you're agreeing to. If someone tells you, I will make you rich, run the other way. Want to work with someone that wants to empower you to get your results and support that growth so that at the end of that time, you don't need them anymore. If you want someone to build your business for you and get results for you, you're always going to need someone to do that. That's not my goal for the people I work with. And number 3, extract the value. Extract the value. I can't see your comments. So I don't know what you're saying because it's not working again and it's really annoying. But I know, I can see that you're there and every now and then I get a flash of a comment. So what I'm going to have to do, guys, I'm going to have to go over your comments at the end. If any of you got any questions or thoughts, you know, I'm up for a bit of a debate on it. Not everybody's going to share the same opinions as me. We're all different, that's cool. Comment, share. You know, if you know people that are like you, lifelong learners, women in business that want to be better, have more, and you want to help them not fall into the same trap a lot of people do of throwing money away, tag them in the video. And if you're a coach like me and you're really fucking passionate about what we do, like it's life-changing, guys, and I'm not saying that to blow my own trumpet. It is. It's really, really life transformational when you can help someone. And I protect this industry and the people in it fiercely. You will never find me bad-mouthing another coach, trainer or experience that I've had. And if you want to protect the industry like I do and help people extract from it what they can do, tag people, share it, you know, let's get this message out there that you can be in a position, and it's totally within your control, within your power, to never waste another penny and always get a great return on your investment. Thank you for joining me tonight, guys. And if you missed the beginning, go back, because I shared that mind-blowing hack with you on the iPhone with the space bar. And it's a game changer. So if nothing else, if you ignored everything else that I've said tonight, just go back and find that, because that's absolutely worth it. Speak soon. Oh, one more thing before you run off. I'm going to Milan on Friday for the weekend, for Black Friday weekend shopping, but I'm not going to spend the whole weekend shopping because I want to see Milan. Anybody that's been to Milan, can you just give me some suggestions in the chat box? I said to James before I went live that I'd ask everybody on Facebook who's been to Milan and knows the city well, what do we absolutely have to go there for a weekend? So we want to pick like 3 or 4 things that we can get done, and much rather do it on recommendation than Google.